Did you know that you can also get diabetes? Or did you know some of the causes? Well, in this video, we are going to look at the risk factors and some of the things that can lead us to get diabetes. Hello, our dear viewers. You're once again welcome to this platform, Health Tips and Tricks. I am your physician, Dr. Andrew, to take you through. If you're new to this channel, kindly subscribe. And if you missed our previous videos, feel free to check out our site and view these videos to improve your health. So today we are going to pick up from our friend Mohammed, who asked a question about his grandmother who had diabetes. So one of the things he asked was, my grandmother has diabetes, so can I also get it? And how do I know that I'm getting diabetes? So diabetes, like we already said, is a disease that affects your body's ability to handle blood sugar. And we saw that what causes this is challenges with the pancreas and challenges with the production of insulin, including how the insulin works in order to lower your sugar. So what are some of the things that can cause this? What we should know is that diabetes as a disease does not have a particular thing that can cause it. We should know that there are several factors that come into play, and these will make us get diabetes in the long run. How does this happen? Everything to do with diabetes comes when your body's ability to handle sugar has been affected. And this can be affected by, for example, effect on the pancreas, which can be a direct effect on the pancreas. Then it can also be affected by effect on how the insulin works and also effect on the body itself. So this is how we are going to divide the three. If we could use a simple illustration, we are going to look at three parts. One is the pancreas. Two is insulin. And three is the body. So these three things are what are involved in the genesis of diabetes as a disease. You might have things affecting your pancreas, things affecting your body, or things affecting your insulin and insulin production. But among all these things, we have factors which we can change as individuals, and we have factors which we cannot change. What are some of the factors we cannot change? Genetics, for example. If your grandparents, parents, great-grandparents, basically your family line of first-degree relatives, if you have been having diabetes running in the family, it means you also have genetic risk factor of getting diabetes. And these genetics, what do they affect? They could either affect the pancreas, they could affect insulin production, or they could even affect your body. And this can make you easily get diabetes. If the pancreas is not functioning well, it can't produce insulin. If the pancreas produces insulin, but the insulin cannot affect the body to bring the sugar down, then you can also get diabetes. If your body does not respond to the insulin that is being produced, then you can also get diabetes. And these factors affect these three parts like we have seen. So we have seen that genetics is one of the factors that can play a role in leading to diabetes by affecting one of the three areas. And genetics, there's nothing we can do about it. If you are born with a genetic risk of getting diabetes, well, you just have to prevent the other risk factors. Because like we said, it's a disease of risks, and the more risks you have, the higher your chances of getting diabetes. Of course, we have other things which we can adjust. For example, your body habitus. We have talked about the body as one of the areas where sugar control can be a problematic and lead to diabetes. If, for example, you are obese, this is something you can work on. You can do exercise, you can avoid a sedentary lifestyle, and then you reduce the risk of getting diabetes because your body is obese. And still in the same line, it does not mean that only obese people get diabetes. Some people might be lean and small, but then you also have risk from other factors. Looking at, still in line with that, we shall talk about diet. The different diets we eat also affect our chances of getting diabetes. They increase risk. For example, if you have your pancreas, which is here, and you eat a sugar meal or a meal which has glucose in it. Now this meal will cause the pancreas to produce insulin. Now if all the time you're taking too much of the sugar, all the time your pancreas is doing a lot, it is working a lot. And like any other body organ, if a body organ is overworked, it reaches somewhere and gets what we call fatigue. So in order to prevent this, we need to eat foods that don't cause a lot of glucose excursion in your body. Foods that don't put a strain on your pancreas. And that is another way in which you can reduce the progression to diabetes. If the kind of diet you eat has high in sugar, this will put a strain on the pancreas, and progressively you can move towards getting diabetes. Then we also have other lifestyles, for example, smoking, alcohol. These also affect our body in different ways. Alcohol, for example, is harmful to the pancreas, and the pancreas then produces insulin that is important to prevent diabetes. So if our pancreas is affected by alcohol intake, this can increase your risk of getting diabetes. Of course, smoking, we all know it is harmful, and like we have been saying in our previous videos, smoking affects your blood vessels. And once your blood vessels are affected, all the organs in the body can get affected, because these blood vessels are needed to bring blood to the organs. So if the organs get affected, you will affect your pancreas, you affect your liver, you affect your kidneys, and your body in general. And all these play a role in preventing diabetes, because they are all involved, like we have seen. Then, of course, we have other causes of diabetes which affect the pancreas directly other than alcohol. For example, infections. Infections can be from viruses, from bacteria, and even other disease-causing organisms. A person can suffer, for example, from a viral infection. During the COVID pandemic, some people acquired COVID and then they ended up getting diabetes from the COVID virus. So these viruses and bacteria will affect the pancreas directly and make it sick and infect and cause it to get cellular damage, cause damage to the pancreas. And following this, a person can get diabetes. And then, of course, we have other things we ingest. It may not be food. Some of us take a lot of herbal medicine. Even sometimes the drugs themselves we buy from hospitals and clinics. Most of these drugs and herbal medicine can also affect our body organs, like the pancreas, for example, and increase your risk of getting diabetes. So those are some of the risk factors which I've talked about, some of the things that can cause diabetes in your life. Of course, not forgetting age. Aging is a process which affects all your body organs, and it can also lead to increased risk of getting diabetes. And I hope this has been very helpful. We have seen that genetics, and not only genetics, but also other factors like the kind of diet you eat, your lifestyle, smoking, alcohol intake, living a sedentary lifestyle, and you gain weight. All these factors, we have seen that they can increase our risk of acquiring diabetes. I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much for listening.